This is the top live streaming subreddit, and here's this viral clip where this guy seems to get annoyed that his dog is moving off this tiny bed. As he reaches over, presses a button, the dog yelps, it's kind of distressing, and the dog lies down, and then the guy goes, "You're such a baby." You can see his chat going on here. His chat is shocked. They're going, "What's going on?" And oh look, I just like to point this out, right? Someone donated money and a little dog pops up. Now this guy, his brand, features dog. He has his dog in the corner. If you actually go and watch one of his VODs, at the very beginning, he has dogs. This guy who features dogs as part of his brand seemingly shocks his dog as a prop to keep her in camera view. And it's the second all-time post, happened 1 month ago, and it has over 10,000 comments. This guy streams on Twitch, which is this massive company owned by Amazon. Every day, millions of people tune into Twitch and they watch for a really long time. He's the number 11 guy, 3 million followers on the platform. He has 15,000 people who are paying him monthly. Because this guy covers controversial political topics that are polarizing, this event really blew up and people started posting memes. There are hundreds of memes, right, of shocking. Even someone made this song that got 2 million views. Even the vice president of the country, the vice president, commented on this. So this is a huge thing that blew up. But there's one problem. Livestream fail is this subreddit that points out people's failures. A lot of people are angry at him because of this 37-second clip. Of course, you can see there are some other clips where he does suspicious things, but people still aren't sure. It looks really bad. However, it's a clip. It could have been taken out of context. I mean, this guy streams for hours and hours every day. We should be able to look at more than just 30 seconds. We should look at the hundreds of hours of streams. And that's what I did. I'm somewhat of a scientist myself. Here's my hypothesis on the situation. I'm going to take 100 hours before the alleged shocking and 100 hours after, when he faced a huge amount of backlash and he knew that he couldn't get away with doing it anymore. And I'm going to compare how often the dog is on the stream before and after. And how am I going to do that? An AI detection algorithm that will tell me if there's a dog or if there's no dog. And I'm going to run that every minute for 100 hours before and 100 hours after. Now, you probably don't care about this, but I'm using this object detection architecture with this foundation model. And here are the results. It is kind of spotty. It doesn't really work that well. You can kind of pick up a trend, but I went back and I just redid it manually. So you could double check, these are the dates sorted chronologically. I have this percentage. Here is the month of September. Green is when the dog is in frame. Red is when the dog is not in frame. And these are hours long streams, right? 7, 8 hours in September, besides some anomalies. The dog is almost always right in frame, right? Of course, not 100% of the time. September, it's pretty green, and then you go to October, right after the incident, and while there is some green, look at all this red, right? And of course, it's not 100%, but you see a lot more red. Here's the summary. I broke it down in a chart. From before the incident with shocking, which is basically 75%, so most of the time. Afterwards, it's almost 33%, about 1/3 of the time. So you go from 3/4 to about 1/3. That's a 100% change, a 100% difference from the shocking. Now, the AI algorithm that I ran took 13,000 data points and processed 200 plus hours of video. Now, here's the manual detection results, right? And we can see that there is this drastic change. But also, I want to kind of pull up the AI results because I threw them away and maybe I was a little bit too harsh about the AI. I mean, if you look at before, right, there's a difference. The AI didn't really pick things up. But if you look at the after is kind of similar, right? And we can see this raw data visualization. You can kind of see, if you line things up, that they match. Not perfectly, This is before, and let's scroll all the way down to some of the more recent stuff. If you see the more recent stuff, it actually is pretty accurate. So what's going on? Sometimes the dog isn't recognized. The AI detection algorithm doesn't pick up the dog because the dog is just lying there. It sometimes thinks it's furniture or a teddy bear or an inanimate object because the dog is just depressed. It's lying there. It can't really pick up the dog. So you could see that before October 7th, when the dog was probably being shocked, and I'm saying probably because this is not definitive proof, but it's not a smoking gun, but it's like bullet wounds and gunpowder residue. This is not just a little clip out of context. This is taking hundreds of hours of data, over 10,000 data points. If you can see before October 7th, a lot of the times the dog is just depressed. It's curled up. It's in the corner. It's not even recognizable as a dog, but afterwards it's pretty accurate. So this is after the dog stopped being shocked, so the dog is a lot happier, and it's more dog-like, it's more animated, it's more alive. Even the AI realizes this. So what can we say about this, right? What is our overall conclusion? Well, it's good and bad. I mean, it's bad because this dog was probably, during all this time for years, being used as a prop and wasn't happy at least half of the time. Didn't want to be there, didn't consent being there, was only there because it was hurt if it left. But we can also say that, hey, it's not 100% of the time. The dog was only there most of the time. And then after the incident, the dog is still showing up. So it's not exactly like it's a horrible place for the dog to be. It's just the dog doesn't want to be there half the time. And right now the dog is a lot happier. I think this was actually a good thing overall. Beforehand, something bad was going on because we're in this media environment where things are live broadcasted. Bad behavior was exposed and corrected. And now things are a lot better for the dog. It's still sad that it happened in the first place for years, but things did change for the better. And I think this really has some implications for this guy. I mean, should people, he's already a controversial figure, but he's still big in politics. Should people be listening to this guy? Should people be looking up to him? Should he be so influential? I don't know. But what I do know is that this is a depressing topic to look into. So if you want to do something positive, I'd encourage you to support organizations that do good things for animals, because you're just watching a stream, you can't really do much. So I'd suggest you help out an organization like this.